there, Tommy? Look at you. Look at you here. Showing up. Showing up right in the nick of time. Which more I can say for the Warriors tonight. Oh, frustrating fucking Al. I got some thoughts on it. I know you got some thoughts on it.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute, but before we get to that, everyone, presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. Use the promo code WELCOME. Welcome one and all to Light Years. Let me paint a picture for you, Tommy. Okay?
Oh boy.
I'm going to paint a picture for you. As many know, I'm a budding artist, so I'm ready to paint. No Steph, no Jimmy, no Draymond. Kings, to be fair, are missing Levine, Sabonis, Keegan. Real opportunity for the second timeline to show where we're at. And I thought they did for most of the game, but we end tonight with a loss with Russell Westbrook looking like MVP 2017 Russell Westbrook. And I mean, there's positives, there's negatives take from it, but it's just fucking frustrating. I don't know how else to put it. It's just frustrating to walk away from a game that they had a comfortable lead in, that they should have won, and being here right now.
I mean, we were talking about it before the game started. We were excited for this one. We said it last night on the podcast. It's like, it kind of felt like a free roll. But then the game gets started, you take the lead, you get invested in it, and it ends up being not the most frustrating loss of the season. That would be a lie, but a frustrating loss nonetheless, especially because it feels like it's one that you probably could have and should have won. I mean, in my opinion, the game really flipped in the third quarter, obviously, when Kings got some very, very kind foul calls. So I thought the Warriors actually defended very, very well in the first half. Played with a ton of energy. Were super disruptive. Were really causing the Kings to turn the ball over. Yes, fire everybody, please. We're causing the Kings to turn the ball over, and then refs tightened the game up a little bit, and that just did not favor the Warriors in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, I mean, there's, like you said, there are positives. I thought obviously Will Richard is kind of the main standout here. Moody continues to shine. Kuminga up and down, but I like some of what I saw. Like there are positives to take from it. But at the end of the day, you lost a game that you probably should have won. And that's, no matter who's playing, that's always going to be frustrating.
Yeah, like there's three major red flags from this game for me. Okay. One is the ball handling. The Kings turned up the pressure, and it just exposed how this team lacks guys who can dribble at a high level. But we kind of knew that in general. Number two was the center position, specifically Al Horford. I'm still not ready to sound the alarms, but this is game 9. We're getting close. We're getting close here, Did not look good. Did not look good for Al. Like, we're going to spend most of the time talking about the young guys, rightfully so. They probably win this game if Al Horford is the Al Horford we remember from a year or two ago. Yeah. And that's worrisome, And it's not great, He couldn't hit a shot tonight. Still looking slow defensively. Still a smart player. Like, that's never going to change, right? But 0 for 8 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. And he probably needs to hit a couple shots to stay on the floor.
Yeah, it's it's not great. It's not great. It is, like you said, it's not sound the alarm time, but it is. If we're not there, we're damn close. I'm hoping that, obviously, coming off there's things that we can point to, right? Coming off the bench for the first time in forever, playing in a system that requires kind of this much movement and passing and cutting, whereas it's not, again.
Okay, can we talk about that? Do you really think the system is actually, because I can buy moving cross country, not being part of the team until October 1st because of the Kuminga contract thing, and just the general like getting settled aspect. I don't actually buy it. The system is holding back. Like he's been like a front court facilitator and stretch five for 5 years now.
Uh, yeah, yes and no. I mean, the Celtic system is a lot different, right? It's a lot of stand around the perimeter, drive and kick. You're pretty stationary. Warriors offense requires a lot of movement. Um, and if we want to point to something of why maybe some of these kind of stretch bigs have come to the Warriors and struggled, not been able to shoot as well, it could be related to that. It's a system that just requires a lot more movement and a lot more thinking. And you're not just in Boston. Al was focused on either just moving the ball to the next guy while standing on the perimeter, or he was driving a closeout, or he's shooting a wide open three. There just wasn't much movement involved for a 39-year-old. It might not be the best fit in terms of that. Like he's still smart. He's not. It's not like he's making dumb plays.
Are you really just implying like constantly having to kind of seek out a dribble handoff and play off? Like, because it's not like they're having him like run off of screens like he's a shooter or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It to me. I don't think it's that big a stretch from what he did in Boston.
I think it's much different. I just think the constant like you're in different spots on the floor constantly. You're going to the post. You're going to the elbow. You're screening down. You're constantly just kind of in motion. If you watch the Celtics play, they don't screen a ton. They set a high ball screen. They get a paint touch.
Yeah,
and
no, they're more about just spacing.
100. They're just spacing and they're very stagnant. The Warriors play an entirely different style, and it's been effective for a long time. It's a style that I enjoy watching more. But for a 39-year-old who probably isn't in the best shape yet, from what I can see, he does look a little bit big. That's just eye test stuff for me. I could be entirely wrong. Maybe he's the same size he was in Boston. I don't know on that one.
Call him fat. Just say it. Just say it. Say it with your chest. No.
He needs a. Can we get a Geo 1P sponsor, please? But
time to get a DEXA scan. Promo code Lightyears 45.
Come on now, get your shit together. No, I just think it's a big change in like style of play for him from what he's been playing. He played a similar style in Atlanta. That was 7 or 8 years ago. That was many miles on his body
decade ago.
Right, exactly. So it might take some getting used to. I have enough faith that he'll figure it out. But it's been really ugly to start this season. If he was better tonight, I mean, it's a win. If he was better in a couple games, probably turn some losses into wins. It's not all on him. Obviously, other guys could have been better. But if he just knocks down a couple threes, that's probably a W.
Yeah, I mean, they're not asking him to be a foundational center, but like him giving them 20 good minutes is paramount to this being a good team and a different team than they were last year. And to this point, yeah, he's kind of looked old. He's kind of looked not the part so far. I guess we'll see where it goes. I'm still not there yet, but like undoubtedly tonight, like to your point, if we got the Al Horford we thought we were getting, it's a win. It's a win right there. Totally. And so, if we're 10 to 15 games in from here, 20 to 25 games into the season, and this is the case, then all I'm going to be talking about is how they need to get big at the trade deadline.
Yep.
That's what we're working at. Like my thought was that wasn't going to be the primary need. It might be the primary need in a month's time.
Could be. It absolutely could be. People love it's everybody's favorite buzzword, POA. Somebody needs to fucking define what that term is for me. I'm so sick of seeing that online. Like I didn't think they really struggled that much to stay in front of the ball tonight. It's the NBA. You're going to get blown by every once in a while. The bigger issue is, to me, you don't have backline defenders that you trust that much. What helps guys guard the ball? When Chet Holmgren's standing at the rim. The OKC has fantastic on-ball defenders, probably the best in the league. But you know why guys are deterred and it looks like guys are kind of scared to drive sometimes? Because Chet's one of the best shot blockers in the league. These things work in tandem. So, I thought Post was pretty solid around the rim tonight, but he's vulnerable in other areas. Obviously, he's not great getting on the perimeter. But I thought for the most part, they weren't necessarily getting blown by. They were doing a good job in staying in front of their man. They were just fouling too much. Dumb fouls in the mid-range, some ticky-tack calls. But yeah, And especially with Melton coming back, I'm not overly concerned about their on-ball defense, especially with the way Moses looks defending the ball. Will Richards obviously
Oh,
been
Jesus. Moses looks awesome
It looks
defensively.
fantastic. We'll get to him later. He looks awesome overall, but I think Will Richards is obviously going to factor in. Gary, I don't trust at this point, but if Melton's what the Melton we expect him to be, he's going to be able to guard the ball as well. So I think you have enough in that area. I'd definitely be more concerned about a big man, as you're saying. Yeah, I mean, almost regardless of how Al looks in a month's time, they need
Let
some
me
more playable size.
let me ask you a question. Did you feel like the issue tonight was talent or focus? And by that I mean talent's obvious. Talent's like they just didn't have enough guys who could make a play, like quite frankly, scoring the ball when they needed to. Focus, just playing as hard as you can for 48 minutes. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna put it out there. I actually didn't really need to explain to you what I was saying. I don't know why I did that. I apologize.
It's not focus. Yeah, they turned the ball over 19 times. You know they turned it over 19 times because they don't have guys who can create shots. And we don't have guys who can create shots. You end up in a lot of precarious situations where you pick up your dribble because you can't blow by your defender. There's nowhere to really go. Now you got to kind of make a risky pass across the top of the key, or you get stripped, or you're pressured too much and you make a dumb pass. But it doesn't have to do with. I thought they played incredibly hard tonight. For the most part, especially in the first half, played a little bit dumb.
Oh, yeah, I disagree with you. I disagree with you so hard on this one.
Okay, let's
I think
go.
I think they played hard in the first half. I think that third quarter looked like a team who thought they won the game in the first half. And so for me, that's a focus thing. That comes down to, are you going to lock in for 48 minutes? Because you're not overwhelmingly talented. I guess they go hand in hand.
Right.
Now I'm just giving a cop-out answer.
Right.
Like, you don't have Steph Curry. You don't have the ability to have 5 lazy possessions, and it doesn't fucking matter because he's going to just make it up the next 2 possessions for you right there, right? Like, that's kind of the part of this, and I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know if that's the players, or I don't know if that's just the reality of when you play with Steph, you just assume there's always a get out of jail free card there for you. Probably all 3.
I'll ask you this.
Mhm.
Did the Warriors have a single guy on the court tonight that was a better creator than any of DeRozan, Westbrook, Schroeder, or Monk? Is there a single guy out there for the Warriors who is a better on-ball creator than any of those 4 guys?
Kuminga?
Disagree. Three assists, 6 turnovers tonight. Got
Did he
stonewalled in the
not get
post.
it going? Did he not get it going downhill in the first half, though?
Sure, he did in the first
Did
half.
they not, did they have an issue creating shots in the first half?
No, they didn't.
Do
But
you think the Kings did something abject, like different in the second half that stymied them, or do you think it was
it was more half-court possessions because the Kings were at the free throw line the entire third quarter, so their defense was able to tighten up. Less transition. And then in that half-court style, he's still not there. He's improved.
So would you okay? So I agree with you there. So would you say that issue is Warriors lacking shot creation and juice, or Warriors lacking focus defensively and just, because I agree with you. I think what I saw in the third quarter was a bunch of lazy fouling on the Warriors half.
Yeah,
And
some of it was.
they're not good enough to get away with that and just be like, yeah, we'll just make it up on the other end, because they're not. So I don't know. That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. It's still just kind of a team who does not bring the requisite focus every night. Like, you would like this. Maybe this is unfair. Tell me if I'm being unfair. I would have expected the young guys to have brought it harder for 48 minutes in a game where they have the opportunity to show everyone who they are. And I'm not saying they didn't play hard, because they did play hard, but there was just too many lapses for me. There are too many like,
Of course,
3 to 5 minutes spurts where you're just like, all right, well, and like, Russ is Russ. Like, he's older, but you do that, he's going to stick it to you.
Yep.
Like, he plays. All I'm saying is he played harder than the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's my barometer. Like, as dumb as Russ can play, he kind of plays harder than everybody all the time. You know, like I would like
Well,
the matchup
shouldn't that
intensity better.
shouldn't that be kind of an shouldn't that be like a prerequisite
Sure.
for young play? I mean, like again, we're talking pie in the sky here, but
Yeah.
I'm just looking at through the parameter of like, look, they didn't go into Denver. They're not playing like Jokic and the Nuggets. They're playing a Kings team missing 3/5 of their starting lineup. It's a pretty even fight matchup.
Totally. It was. I think realistically what happened, they got called for some fouls where they made dumb plays in the third quarter and some ticky-tack fouls where like they were frustrating. They got
Mhm.
frustrated. A lot of young guys on the floor. What happens when young guys get frustrated? They usually lose focus. But I didn't
It
think
spirals into multiple possessions in a row. Yeah,
correct, correct. And now they're playing dumb offensively. They're turning the ball over more. They're not creating his queen of shots. They're not having his queen of possessions. So I mean, I guess you could say it's focus at that point, but like you have matchups where you had guys who shouldn't be guarding, DeMar DeRozan or Russell. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
again. So again, I'll circle back to this. Let's say Kaminga is on some of those guys' levels as a shot creator. 4 of the 5 best shot creators in the game were on the Kings. 4 of the best 6.
Yeah, but I could spin that too the other way. Of all the guys on the floor, are 4 of the 6 best on-ball defenders on the Warriors?
Yeah, probably, probably.
Are 4 of the 6 best, like, shooters on the Warriors? That's probably more of a 50-50 proposition.
Yeah.
But, like, Westbrook can't shoot the ball. DeRozan's gonna get to the
Got it
mid-range. He's
tonight.
always gonna Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where I agree with you. They have more guys who can do something off the bounce out of nowhere, but, like, I don't know, I'm not buying it. I guess is what I'm saying.
But look, I'm frustrated. I'm making some excuses here, but I just don't think. I think tonight's loss comes down to probably just talent and experience more than it comes down to like focus or playing hard, right? I'd put it more to that, and that's still frustrating. You know what I mean? Like I would like for our young guys to feel like they're a little bit more experienced sometimes, but
Inexperience and focus definitely go hand in hand.
right,
So I'll give you that. Like the focus thing, to be clear, I'm not making the implication that like it's expected. It's just like that tends to be how young teams lose.
totally,
They waste possessions because they don't value possessions at the same level of a veteran team, or just like a more talented team who's like, all right, we can give a couple away because we're just gonna fucking lock in and kill you for five
yeah.
minutes in a row, type of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I would, and we can kind of wrap up this point after this. Like OKC obviously just won the title as an extremely young team for the most part. You know what I mean? They had some good veteran
yeah.
leadership, but like, how lost would a lot of their offensive possessions look if they didn't have SGA? How meandering would a lot of them look? How many times would their focus seem to wane? But he's so good that he kind of levels that playing field for
Oh,
them.
see,
You
I
know what I mean?
disagree with that's actually where I'm coming from, because the
Okay,
one thing I thought about, okay, because I agree with you, without Shea, that offense is gross. Even with him, it's
right,
like not the prettiest, but
sure,
it
sure,
works. Uh, the thing that always impressed me at OKC is it does not matter who's on the floor. They play like grindhouse basketball. They play
yeah.
hard. They play like they're all two-way guys. That's the best way I can
Oh
put
yeah,
it.
for sure.
And so that's kind of what I was hoping to see from the Warrior young guys. And I feel like we saw it for, call it, 3 quarters. Yeah, like
Yeah,
there was just
outside of the third quarter, really.
there was enough lapses in there where it was like they played it for like 3 quarters of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That third quarter just got so weird because I got into the bonus too quickly. And I mean, that's really what the game came down to, in my opinion. That's where they lost the game. The Kings
Mhm.
were in the bonus for the last 9 minutes of the third quarter. And now
Yeah,
the game slowed down. Your possessions on the other end get uglier because you can't create transition opportunities. Um, so I thought I did think they played really hard. I just thought they kind of played stupid at certain points. You know what I thought it was still grindhouse basketball in a way. They could have made
sure.
it more so, but because the game started getting called tighter, it made it harder to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got on this tangent.
But and look,
Clearly,
it was a fun one.
clearly frustrating. That's where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
Before we move forward, guys, taking care of your mental health shouldn't be harder than take care of your physical health. That's where Rula comes in. Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance, and the average session copay is just $15. You guys, $15. Basically the cost of lunch, and honestly, these days, good luck paying for lunch on just $15. So Rula will connect you with over 15,000 licensed therapists and psychiatrists nationwide. They cut out the guesswork by matching you with someone based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements. Rula works with most major insurance plans. Guys, it isn't just a directory. They book appointments, stay on top of your schedule, and keep track of your progress. So actually get you somewhere with therapy. Guys, it's really simple. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to get the care that they needed. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/lightyears to get started today. That's Rula, RULA.com/lightyears. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. I can say it just as someone who's used it. I think it's pretty cool. I think honestly, it's not the type of thing that most guys like want to be honest about. It's pretty user friendly and it's pretty effective to just find you someone who matches your needs, set up a meeting. Pretty low key. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, you need Rula after a night like tonight, honestly. Quick Rula session in the morning.
No comment on that front. But yeah, I am scrolling. I am scrolling right now. So.
All right, Light Years podcast. We are brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Game I'm looking at this weekend: Ravens Vikings. JJ McCarthy's line for passing yards is 210. He's thrown for 143 yards in both of his starts. I think there's a less on that. Ravens are in a spot where they need to win every game. We go more on Lamar, 220 passing yards, and more on Zay Flowers, 0.5 touchdowns rushing or receiving. Feels easy. Feels like Zay gets back on track, gets in the end zone again, and that's a game that the Ravens need to win. So that's where I'm looking this weekend. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports takes into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. The app is really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win. So download the app today and use code LIGHTYEARS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. That's code LIGHTYEARS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Yeah, it is good to be right.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we should talk about some of the positives here.
Sure.
I don't really know how we got on like a 20-minute tangent there.
Hey, man. That was
actually,
fun.
I do know. It's just the frustration,
yeah,
to be honest. But I thought specifically Moses Moody and Will Richard.
Man.
They look good, man. They look good. Moses Moody might be the best contract in the NBA.
If he plays like this, I mean, look. He's shooting 50% from 3 on the year right now. He was 6 of 11 tonight. So he's at about 51, 52% on the year from 3. I doubt that continues, obviously. But he looks like a guy, the way he's shooting the ball, the confidence he's shooting it with, the release looks quicker. This is all stuff that we've talked about. I would not be surprised if he's 40% from 3 this year. And
I don't know what I just did, Tommy.
We're just doing this once a night at this point, aren't we?
I legitimately think that was me leaning on my keyboard and doing that.
You gotta be careful, man.
I apologize. I'm gonna take the blame there. But yeah, no, I think the thing that's most exciting about Moses Moody right now is this play looks repeatable and it looks scalable to playoff basketball. You know what I mean by that? Did I lose Tommy? Jesus. I murdered Tommy. I'll keep going on this front. I think it's exciting how comfortable he looks functioning off ball as a shooter, how good the defense looks right now. Like, I I don't know if he can be a first option, but no one's asking him to be a first option except for nights like tonight. I can see a world where he plays as a 3 and D guy in a closing lineup in a playoff series when he plays like this. Like, the shot looks comfortable. He looks super confident coming off ball, shooting in movement. Something that I might not have said a year ago. Like, maybe a year or two ago, uh, he was better as a catch and shoot guy, less so coming off of curls and pin downs. Now he just looks comfortable doing both those things. Uh, and then the defense, honestly, the defense might be the thing that excites me more because I always thought he could shoot the ball, even if the shots got faster. He's got more confidence shooting off movement. The dude looks like he soaked up everything from Draymond and Andre Iguodala. And I'm not saying he can defend like those guys, but like, now every time I look at a box score Moses Moody plays, you see like 2 steals, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 steal. Like, his hands are all over everything. He's bigger than you think. He's strong. He knows how to leverage it to be a defender, and he's just a menace. Like, you don't want to dribble around him. He knows how to use his hands in the lanes at all times. Like, he is going to be closing every important game for this Warriors team. I know Steve's experimenting with lineups right now. I will bet every last dollar I have when it comes to crunch time and like actual winning time and when games matter. Moses Moody is the most obvious guy to be in that 5-man lineup.
I appreciate you carrying that segment. Computer hit a full restart right after we got back on. This is unbelievable. But no, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, the defense is just it's just like incrementally gotten better, starting kind of with when he got in the starting lineup last year, right? And now he feels like one of those guys that people don't want to dribble around now. You know what? Like, every time there's like kind of a transition situation or a guy's dribbling towards him, you feel like he has a chance to get a hand on the ball. And obviously they've struggled with some on-ball defense at points in this season. And he just looks like a guy that you can kind of just probably stick on the other team's best player, and you feel relatively good about it. There's going to be guys in the league who get their buckets no matter what. We know who those guys are. But Moses he's turning into the prototypical starting NBA 3-and-D wing, and that's so encouraging because this team needs that.
And it's to me, the more exciting part is not the on-ball stuff; it's the off-ball stuff. Like, I thought he did a good job guarding guys one-on-one 2 years ago. Like, obviously there's matchups he wasn't good, but now it doesn't matter. Is he on ball? Is he floating off ball? He's got so much better at guarding the weak side. Just understanding awareness. To your point, like, his hands in the passing lanes, like, he is super long. That's always been like one of the better qualities about him. Like, when you're looking at it, like, man, 7'1" wingspan, like that. Now he knows how to use it, and now he's using it effectively. Uh, there was an interesting. I was thinking about it. Like, there was a stat I threw out there. Last year, their best lineup was Steph, Pods, Jimmy, Moses, and Dre. They've used that lineup 0 minutes this year, and I don't know that it's their best lineup, but I do know that Steve is not stupid, and part of the reason they haven't used it is probably because they're just playing with lineup combinations right now. I just watching Moses Moody play, I am so confident that whenever they get out of this experiment mode of the first 20 plus games, he's so locked into being one of like the high leverage lineup guys. Like, oh yeah, it's a tie game with 6 minutes left. We need our best guys out there. He's going to be out there. He's shooting the ball the best he's had in his career.
Yep.
His defense fits with everyone. He can be the on-ball guy, he can be the off-ball guy.
Yep.
Like, it's just, I'm not going to call him Klay Thompson or like, something like that. Like, that's unfair. Klay's a top 3 shooter of all time.
Yep.
But he's playing into that like Klay or Wiggins role where you're just like, it doesn't matter who you have. You need a guy like that in the lineup. If not 2 to 3 of those guys in your lineups.
This was the vision, right? When you picked him.
This
was the vision in 2021. The projection is he will be this one day. And it's nice to see, like, you never know, like how a young guy's going to come into it next season. You're always hoping for a leap. You're always hoping they take the next step. But it really feels like he took whatever confidence he gained at the end of last season. And obviously, the playoffs didn't go great for him. There was a multitude of reasons for that. But it feels like he used that as a springboard to come into this season thinking like, oh, I actually am an NBA player. Like, I'm not only am I an NBA player, I'm a guy who's going to play important minutes for good teams for the rest of my career. Who knows if he wins a championship over the course of his career? I hope he wins one very soon with this team. But even if he doesn't, you can see him being a guy that is as a piece on title contending teams for the next 10 years. I didn't even realize he had 4 blocks tonight. I mean, he was doing such a good job at kind of being on the weak side, seeing a drive, and then just coming over and essentially protecting the rim, which for a team that lacks size, that's huge. Having a guy who can do that, especially if they're going to lack size, you need guys who are great weak side defenders who can come over and provide a bit of rim protection from the wing, and he's doing that now. Like, it just feels like everything's slowed down for him. In a really good way.
6 stocks if you want to get to a stock thing, but it's like to me
Take
it's
a sip of your IPA.
But I mean, that's the thing it comes down to, because it's like steals, blocks, like it's somewhat subjective. Like there's obvious differences, but it's just like getting your hands on shit and making plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a team, they had 16. And this is actually, we haven't called it out on the last couple episodes, but it's becoming a thing where when I look at the box score or just like the eye test watching a game, it's like he's just disruptive.
Yep.
He's realizing how long he is and how impactful that can be. Maybe the game's slowing down for him like that. He would probably say that's what it is. That's probably what it is, to be honest. So, but it's exciting because like that skill set is the most valuable skill set outside of a true star. Like every team in the league is looking for the foundational star, the Steph Curry, the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Giannis, the guy who commands too, you can build your offense around, and they just want to surround him with like 15 Moses Moody's. That's like really what it comes down to. Like OKC just won a title, essentially, with this formula. It's like, okay, we got our guy, we got our superstar, and we got our big to build around, and we're just gonna try to get as many guys who we can plug and play, who are going to defend and just play basketball the right way around them.
100%. And it feels like they might have found another one of those guys in the draft.
I know, right?
We should probably talk about Will Richard a bit.
What a transition! What a transition, my man.
Hey, I'm getting, this is year 2 leap right here, Sam. Year 2 leap. How real is this? Because I mean, it feels like every time he gets minutes, and it's almost regardless of what the box score says. He's had some games where he's a minus, but it feels like he's a positive impact every single time he's on the floor. Obviously, the shooting has been pretty damn good so far from what the expectations were, especially stepping back from the college line to the NBA three-point line. But the cutting, the awareness, just to like be in the right spots, to snag rebounds, his hands on defense, like he has that very Iguodala
30
trade. Yeah,
30 points.
He dropped 30 tonight. And the thing is, I'm not even starting with that because all the other stuff is so impressive. But it's like that's a second round pick who went out and got 30 tonight in his first NBA start. It's wildly impressive.
No, Steve's gonna find ways to give more minutes. Like that. That's the thing. He's another one of those guys where I'm like, you're in a playoff series and you're cutting your rotation down, and you really just want foxhole guys around your stars, like Will Richard. Does he not look exactly like the type of rotation players who just played for the Thunder, who just won the title? And I don't want to like overly fixate on him, but I do feel like that is kind of the formula going forward, which is just like surround your stars with enough high IQ 3 and D guys who just battle all day. Like, yeah, I mean, like, look, he was awesome at Florida.
Yeah,
I thought he was. But it's like one of those things where you're like, I could see him being that guy in the pros, but you just never know. You just never know. And it was a worthwhile gamble in the 50s, and they look like they got the steal of the draft. It really does look like the steal of the draft because, to your point, he can defend an NBA level right now.
Yep.
He processes the speed of the game and NBA level, which
Man.
is the most important. Like the cutting is 100% a function of the fact that it's not too fast for him. He obviously knows the right play, but like, can you make it at NBA speed? And he
Sure.
can. And then, the shooting, it's like, I'm sure it's going to regress a little bit, but like, honestly, as long as it stays about 35, 36%, I don't care.
Yeah.
He takes the right shots. He can hit them if he's open. He does so many other things. As long as the shooting doesn't like trend into like toxic 20% territory, it's fine. I don't think the difference between him hitting 36 and 39% is going to really be that impactful in terms of what he does.
And the thing is, like, he wants the shots. You can see, like, he knows which shots to take. Whereas this is like the problem Pods runs into a lot. He second guesses when he should and shouldn't shoot. There's none of that from Will. And if you just look back at Florida, obviously Clayton was their best player in the tournament, but Will Richard was their best player in the national championship game. He was the only guy who could make a shot. Like, clearly, this is not a guy who is scared of the moment in any way, shape, or form. If anything, he's one of those guys who gets better, kind of the more of the pressure ratchets up. So it's just like finding a guy like that and just kind of building out your rotation. It honestly makes you more confident that you can go into the trade deadline and feel okay about making a trade. Like, I don't want to trade Buddy just because of the vibes, but like, you can kind of feel okay about it now because you found a guy that, especially if this continues, you found a guy who's probably does things that are, you love to have shooting. And if you're moving Buddy, you're probably getting shooting back in return. But you found a guy who's probably a little bit more versatile and just like a better defender already. So like, these are where these things matter. It's building out the kind of the middle part of your rotation so you can feel confident going into the trade deadline. If you need to make those trades, you can make them because you're not going to absolutely ruin your depth.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And on the college point, like obviously you watched the World Series, as did I. And there was a lot of like, let's be real, like Toronto was like a cute story all year, but like, how locked in were you on the Blue Jays all year? Like, you didn't really get locked until the playoffs. You didn't like really respect them until you're there. You're like, oh, these guys are really fucking good.
Yeah.
Right. And so like a big story around them was, revamping the coaching staff, bringing in like hitting coaches who were able to get the most out of their guys. And I saw this interview and I'll link it in the chat later. Talking about how like there's absolutely a thing to clutch. Like it's a very like stat idea to believe clutch isn't real. If you do the right things, it won't come. And he's like, no, there's a difference between clutch hitters and non-clutch hitters, and I can measure it, and I can do a bunch of things, and like not acknowledging it is just dishonest. Certain guys are able to keep their blood, keep their blood pressure at a normal level in big moments, and other guys kind of get like hot and their heart races and that sort of thing, which I thought was interesting because like usually you don't hear like new age guys acknowledge that. Like usually they try to be like, no, it's not that. If you just stick to the process, it doesn't matter. Everything's going to work out evenly, right? And it's like, sure,
it's not how sports go.
That's not anyone's life experience in anything that's pressure filled.
No.
And all I wanted to say with this, which is the most roundabout way to get to, is that's part of the reason I kind of love Will Richard, because he showed me in college, and I keep seeing it here, which is, look, I don't expect him to be able to be Steph Curry or do any of that crazy things, but he's showing me time and time again, he's not going to waver from who he is as a player or get scared of the moment for who he is as a player. He knows the shots he can hit. His confidence is going to waver on that. He knows what he can do defensively. His confidence is going to waver on that. And like, that is probably more valuable trait than we give it credit for. Self-confidence is the most powerful trait. Honestly, like you think about Steph Curry, that might be the second most powerful aspect to him behind the ungodly shooting ability.
They go hand in hand. Like being able to miss the shots that he's missed over the course of his career, the pressure-filled shots, the big shots where it's like that would crumble lesser players. You know what I mean? They'd never be the same. But to like be able to come back from that time and time again, like Will clearly has a portion of that. No, the dumbest talking point of all time when analytics started to come to the forefront is like, well, there isn't really a such thing as clutch. It's like, have you ever played a sport? Have you ever been in a pressure packed moment? It feels different. We talked about it all finals, man. both teams just had a bunch of fucking dogs out there. They had
Yeah.
guys who were, no matter whether they made or missed shots, no matter whether they made dumb plays, great plays, they were never scared of the next play that came along. And look, to find a guy like that at 56 in the draft, who, I mean, I don't care who you're playing. That was an NBA team out there tonight in Sacramento. Yeah, they're down a couple guys. He scored 30 points and he did it efficiently. It didn't look like it was forced. It didn't look like one of those.
It was in the flow of the offense. That's like the craziest part.
Exactly.
Like, did he create, like, did he self-create a single bucket? Like,
No.
maybe 1 3, maybe one off the dribble 3. But it was just literally, I'm just playing and I'm gonna catch it off cuts. And next thing you know, he's got like 22 points and it's just moving.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good, man. That's all I can say. Nothing he's doing feels unsustainable outside of maybe the percentage he's shooting the ball at. But everything else feels like this is stuff he can continue to do no matter what the lineup combinations are. So it's just really exciting, to find another guy like that where they did.
The combinations.
Shout out, Steve.
This is my favorite. Just talk so seriously about the combinations. The other thing you guys need to be serious about is your physical health, not just your mental health. They go hand in hand, just like shooting and ball movement. They go hand in hand. And so, look, we've been partnered with BodySpec. We love BodySpec here. Partnered with them for a year now. And what I love about BodySpec is they've made the DEXA scan affordable for everyone. So with the code LightYears45, you can get DEXA scan for only $45. For those of you who don't know, a DEXA scan is basically the most accurate way of measuring your body and figuring out where you're actually at physically. So not just standing on a scale, but like what's your, body fat percentage, lean muscle mass, visceral fat. Like, get like that true diagnostic of your body to figure out where you're at. Traditionally, this has only been available to pro athletes. Traditionally, this has been one of those things that costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Our friends at BodySpec make it affordable for all. Only $45 with the code LightYears45. Guys, go to bodyspec.com, use the code LightYears45, get a DEXA scan, start your fitness journey.
Light Years Podcast. We are brought to you by Z-Biotics. I have to tell you about this game-changing product. I used it before a night out with drinks. It's called Pre-Alcohol. Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this product, not dehydration, that's the blame for rough days after drinking. Just remember to make your pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. As I've said before, guys, I've used this a couple times now. It helps me a world if I'm having big night, big weekend. They're fantastic. So go to zbiotics.com/lightyears to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Lightyears at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with a 100% money back guarantee. So if you are unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/lightyears and use the code lightyears at checkout for your 15% off.
Before we get out of here, let's just go with a little hot take question here.
Okay.
Of the Warriors' main 3 young guys, Kuminga, Moody, and Pods, who are you actually most confident in having the most impact over the next couple of years?
Over the next couple of years?
This season, like I don't want to put you on the spot of like eternity, but let's just call it the next, I don't know, 3-ish years, 3 to 4 years.
Now this is fun because a week and a half, 10 days ago, 14 days ago, I would have said Kuminga. But right now, this moment after tonight, it's Moses. I think Moses is he's the cleanest fit. Like, even if he's not on the Warriors in a couple years, let's say over the next 3 to 5 years, he's a guy that's you can fit him into any team right now, and he has an immediate role. He's playing 25 plus minutes a game, and he's impactful in ways that are, I don't want to say small, but they're very kind of niche, but they're very important. He shoots the ball well. He defends well. They're things that don't necessarily pop out in the same way that Kumingas do, but at the end of the day, they might be more important for winning at the highest level.
I agree with you. I agree with you mostly because like the 3-and-D player, like it's not a role player. The league is showing you time and time again, if you're good at it, you will make hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep.
Like
Keegan Murray.
I'm not even sure he's good at it yet.
No, he's not.
I think he looks good at it. I think he's shown he's good enough at it, but I need to see him on a team other than Sacramento to really believe he's that guy. But like to your point, like if you're a great 3-and-D player, you're getting $40 million a year like OG Anunoby. If you're a good 3-and-D player, they'll give you 20 to figure it out. Like it's to what we were saying earlier. If you're a superstar, you're getting a max. If you're not a superstar, they'd rather sign 5 3-and-D players than sign a guy who they're trying to figure out. Can he be dude? Could be a not dude. So I actually feel like your answer also is a signifier of what you really think of Kuminga and Pods. Because they clearly have more off the bounce juice than Moody.
Yeah.
More like potential to be the foundational player. But, you know, I guess I'll just say what I'm thinking, which is, you know, I like them. I think they're all good players. I think they're all going to be useful players. But I think the takeaway is I'm more confident Moses is going to excel as that 3-and-D guy than I am either of those guys are going to excel as foundational players.
Well, it's just an easier ceiling to reach, right? Like it's hard to be one of the 10 to 15 guys in the league that's like, I'm creating shots for a great team. But
even if you're realistic about it, every team has 2 of them, like to be one of those like 50 to 60 guys.
Yeah, but they're playing for, you know, Brooklyn. If you're playing for Brooklyn, how impactful are you? Know what I mean? Like the Thunder have 5 Moses Moody variations of Moses Moody. Like it's just easier to find. It's like I don't know. It's like almost in a way like being a wide receiver versus a running back, just in terms of like spots in the league, right? Like how many guys, you know what I mean? There's 3 to 4 good wide receivers on every team. There's maybe 2 good running backs. And not that it's exactly the same. Like essentially as like a foundational guy, you're trying to be a quarterback. There's 10 to 15 good quarterbacks in the league. There's probably 50 really good receivers in the league. Some of them just don't have opportunity yet. Happens all the time where a guy plays for one team as a receiver and then he goes somewhere else and all of a sudden he's catching for 1,000 yards. You know, it's just kind of easier to be that archetype. And Moses fits that to a T. And like, I don't know if JK or Pods fit the foundational ball handling superstar stuff to a T. In my opinion, they don't. As much as I like them as players, because I like both guys, honestly. But it's harder to be that.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd say something else because I can't really disagree with you at this point.
After tonight,
and I think that's kind of. I'm interested to see how it goes forward now. We'll see. I say we end it here. I don't think we need to go too much deeper into tonight's game. Frustrating. Would have liked the W. Appreciate everyone.
Thanks,
subscribe,
everybody.
Rate.